This is Karen Ramsey of Super Healthy Children. I get a lot of questions from pregnant women, lactating mothers, and especially mothers of young children who have difficulty in dealing with a pediatrician because they apparently like that doctor, but want the doctor to understand why they have chosen to follow a raw vegan lifestyle. And still today, even though the raw food movement has grown tremendously over the last decade, there are still doctors who haven't read much about the raw vegan lifestyle and don't feel that it could be healthy, especially during pregnancy. Whereas I have followed many raw vegan pregnancies and women who were breastfeeding and also raising healthy children, and I know that not only is it possible, but it is the best way to have healthy children. And by having a raw vegan pregnancy, you most often will have an easier childbirth, being that you're eating foods that are easier to digest, put less stress on the organs, and are nutrient dense and fiber rich and water rich, everything that the pregnant woman needs. So how do we then get the doctor to understand? And I have had doctors email me with questions. I've had nurses and midwives email me, and I had one midwife, and I quoted her letter in my book, Creating Healthy Children, and I quoted her letter asking me about a woman who had come into her practice and wanted to give birth naturally and was on a raw vegan diet, and she said that the woman was in great shape. She was having an excellent pregnancy, actually a radiant pregnancy, and other people were giving her advice that she should try to talk this woman into eating other foods, dairy, and other animal products. And this woman wrote me a letter saying that she didn't feel that that was necessary, but she wanted to get my viewpoint. And I wrote back to her and I told her that there have been many raw vegan pregnancies and that they have been extremely successful and usually have quicker childbirths and much more ecstatic, and many women even tell me less painful, more pleasure. In my book, Creating Healthy Children, in chapter 28, I have stories of raising children on raw vegan food and healthy pregnancies and how it was done, because there are some raw food diets, of course, that are haphazard. And so we have to know how to live the raw food lifestyle correctly. And especially if we're eating packaged raw food all the time, we certainly cannot be healthy raw vegans. But in chapter 28 of the book, I have stories in here, not just one, but several stories of raw vegan pregnancies and how healthy they were, and especially in comparison to pregnancies with cooked food or pregnancies with animal food. And so I recommend that if you are concerned and you do want to be able to talk to your doctor and have the information that you need, that you get Creating Healthy Children and that you look up in chapter 28 the stories about raw vegan pregnancies. There's also many stories in here, including my own, of healing children with raw food. My own son had asthma, chronic ear infections, and multiple food allergies 20 years ago. And I was able to help him to heal by going to green juicing and raw living plant foods. This was like a vacuum, and it was just cleaning out his intestinal tract, his whole digestive system. And through that, he was able to heal. And so if this is what raw food is about, then why are people not understanding it? Actually, I am having more and more doctors referring their clients to me to help them as a raw food coach and to get them on track with raising their children healthfully through raw living plant foods. And so there is a way to get your doctor to understand, and to also, you could even write out a food diary of what you eat. And there's a wonderful website called Cron-o-Meter, Cron-o-Meter. And Cron-o-Meter, you can put in all of the foods that you've eaten in a day. And it will tell you the vitamins, the minerals, the phytonutrients, the fats, the calories, everything that you have got, the carbohydrates, everything you've gotten for that day. And if you have a healthy, raw vegan diet, it will be quite excellent. And it will be another way that you can show your doctor that you're getting your nutritional needs met. So I highly recommend doing that, going to something like Cron-o-Meter or NutraDiary.com and plugging in the foods that you and your children are eating.